so damn hot. Milk was a bad choice.
Welcome to Running Beer and BS, a podcast where we discuss those things and more. I'm Flores.
I'm Johnny.
And this is episode 25. We are a quarter way through 100.
Nice.
Isn't that crazy? That's a lot of episodes. Today we are talking about heat while we sit out in the heat.
I mean, it is a mere, wait for it, 87 degrees. Oh, nope, I take that back, 95.
I was like, it should be a lot warmer than that.
It is 95 degrees.
Yeah,
oddly enough, it feels like 101.
Really? I think it's because we're not in the sun. We talked about that.
It feels really good, actually.
It's a nice little breeze coming through the patio, but we're talking about heat basically while training, while racing, how to prepare for those kinds of things, especially with these summer races. We've had some recent races that have just been god-awful heat. We talked a little bit about Mohican in previous weeks. We'll talk a little bit about Western and some other things that have happened as well.
Corridors coming up.
Yeah. There's a lot right in the summer, which is always a funny thing. We had some listeners ask us about like when we were going to do an episode of this, and we actually already had it planned, and they're like, "Yeah, why do they have all these races like in the god awful weather of the summer?"
Well, that's because Ohio spring and fall sucks, and you never know what you're going to get.
You never know what kind of weather you're actually going to get with that. So, but as always, we're going to start with what's dehydrating us this evening.
Yep.
Tonight we have a lovely beer from South Park Brewing Company in Fairplay, Colorado. The Alts, got off their gummy bear kick.
Oh my, you did it.
Went right for it. I wasn't even
right to the jugular.
Right to it. See if they listen again. And they brought us a couple beers. This is one of them. It's called Buffalo Peaks Brown Ale, roasted hints of chocolate. South Park Brewing Company, Fairplay, like I said, craft brewing at 9,953 feet. And this beer is it's all right.
It's not a brown ale.
It really isn't. I think this roasted hints of chocolate instantly makes it a stout.
Yeah, actually, that's probably a pretty good question for like an actual brewmaster.
Yeah.
Like, when does it officially become a stout?
That's a good question.
Right? Like, I'm looking at this thing.
And John's posted a picture on the socials about it.
This is, well, I guess.
It's got a little bit of a brown tint to it.
I guess if you hold it up to the light, if you hold it up to the burning orb in the sky, it's some lights coming through it.
Yeah.
But this thing is dark.
It is quite dark, and usually I associate brown ales with more of a nuttiness.
Yeah.
Like some sort of nutty flavor to it. And this is, I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not a brown ale.
It's extremely dark.
Yeah.
I feel like it has more of a chocolatey, malty flavor to it than I would expect from a brown ale.
Right.
If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, God damn it, it's a stout. So, I don't know.
That's how it adds up.
I would just rate this as a stout. I gave it a, what I say? I gave it a 3.
You gave it a 3. I gave it 3 1/4.
I gave it 3 out of 5 on the old Untapped.
Yeah. If you don't follow us on Untapped, we'll have the links
hit us up on Untapped
on the page. But you can definitely, I've got a few people that have friended me from listeners and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks for reaching out about that.
It's even more worthless knowledge that you'll get from me on Untapped than it is any other social media platform.
Yeah, you're like, here's my expert opinion that I don't actually know anything about.
Here's my expert opinion I pulled straight out of my ass.
Yeah. This all sounds fine. Who knows?
So, but yeah, I mean, it's what was the ABV on it?
6.
Oh, that's right, because we talked about
because Untapped said 5.7.
Untapped had 5.7. That could have been just a different release, like last year's or something like that, where it didn't quite. Like,
it didn't quite hit the thing. So.
Yep. So that's what we're drinking. This week, what's been going on? What's been going down?
We went out to North Carolina this weekend.
Did you go out to North Carolina? Or did you go down to North Carolina?
Well, technically, we went out of Columbus to North Carolina, so I guess either one works. It's like when people, oh gosh, Kayla.
So let me ask you something. If you go to Cleveland, would you legitimately say you went out to Cleveland?
No, I wouldn't go.
Exactly. Damn. Take that,
all right, we just lost Northern Ohio.
And there goes Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, that's fun. No, Kayla's family does it all the time. They say they're going to go down home, and down home is north.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not how cardinal directions work. And she did it here, too, talking about the, we're sitting on the patio. There's like a poop machine for dogs, like with the bags and stuff.
Wait. It's a poop machine?
It's not a poop machine. It's a poop collector machine. It's a trash can.
It's a trash bag can.
It's a trash reciprocal.
Bobby.
So Kayla was standing. She's like, "Oh, there's something over there," and she was like, "It was just east of it." I'm like, "Okay, when you say just east, what do you mean?" She's like, "Well, when you look at it, it's on the right hand side." I'm like,
no,
that's not east. She goes, "If I'm looking straight, that is north." I'm like, don't give people directions. It's not."
Speaking of that, that poop thingamabobby would be northeast of us right now.
Yes.
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 Oh, thanks for letting me know that 8 years of military has taught me one thing in Land Ave. Thanks for that.
Is it?
Yes.
Where's the sun going down right now?
That is northeast of us. Well, we're not.
I guess.
We're not baking in the sun, so that would tell us that the sun is behind us in some person.
Well, it depends on. Okay, we're not getting into.
I am telling you that
we're not getting into these directions. We went down to North Carolina.
Yeah, you did.
Is that better for you?
It's way better.
Right between Winston-Salem, Greensboro. I did so we stayed in my niece's bedroom, and she has like blackout curtains.
Yeah.
She has blackout curtains. So we got there late, and both days I slept until like 9 o'clock.
Do those blackouts or the real deal?
And Kayla's like, "Why didn't you get up?" I'm like, "You didn't tell me what time it was." Like, it looks dark outside.
Dude, those blackouts, I mean, they live up there. When Jen used to work third shift, well, we still have blackouts from when she used to work third shift, right? So, I mean, I'm serious. If those things get pulled, I will sleep until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning.
You don't even realize it.
No.
Your body's like, time to shut down.
Yeah.
But we...
that day is gone.
Yeah, but both days I had to deal with real shitty, hot, wet runs.
Yeah.
I think the first run, it was like 93 or so without the heat index.
Yeah.
And then yesterday's run wasn't as bad, but I ran some trails off Lake Brant, I think, in Greensboro.
Yeah.
And they had some pretty cool trails, and they had one trail that was like just for hiking and running, and then they had a mountain bike trail like most places do, but they had them like not interconnected, but they would combine sometimes and then go off.
Right.
So I was going to do the hiking trail and then do the mountain bike trail. It was only going to be like 7 miles, and I was like, that's plenty for how hot it is, and I woke up late. It was going to waste my day. So I go out there. I'm on the hiking trail, and this is my hot take for the day. I'm trying to do a Johnny hot take.
Here we go.
On the hiking trail, and I passed like 2 runners and a ton of people just hiking and walking.
Yeah.
I said good morning to everybody, trying to just talk to them, be friendly.
Here we go.
And no one said anything. Or they would just like mumble back to me. The hikers and the runners.
Even they didn't say anything?
There was one runner that didn't even acknowledge me. I'm like, "Hey, morning." And he just kept running. Like, no headphones in either. So he just blatantly ignored me. I'm like,
what? So much for that Southern hospitality.
Yeah. I say that. I hit the mountain bike trail. Instantly, I hear, with the mountain bike trail, those guys are running. Those guys are going a hell of a lot faster than I am. So anytime you hear the chain bouncing or anything like that, you hop off the trail, figure out where the hell they are.
Yeah.
And then decide, can I keep going or not? Every single person. Thanks so much for me getting off the course. Thanks so much. Good morning. Have a great day.
Oh, the mountain bikers are
every single mountain biker. I probably passed like 15 of them. They were, "Thank you, sir. They appreciate it." I'm like,
"Hey, called you sir."
I'm like, "What's wrong with you?"
What upside down world am I in?
Yeah, there was like a kid that was like 11 years old. I didn't see him at the top of the hill. He was cresting and coming back down. I was
on a mountain bike.
Yeah,
nice.
He was up, and I was looking to make sure I didn't fall off the side, and then I'd look up and I see him there, and he had actually stopped. I'm like, "Oh, you can come out, man." He's like, No, go ahead. I'm like, "All right." So I go ahead, and he's like, "All right, you have fun today." I'm like, what is wrong with this?
Dang.
So I'm calling out all the hikers and runners in Greensboro, North Carolina.
So what we've learned is once you go south of the Mason-Dixie,
it flips.
It's a lot like water when you flush the toilet on the equator.
Yeah. So
mountain bikers become polite, runners become a-holes.
So one of the last runners, you talked about we said something Australian that made me think of it before we started recording. Each one of them, which I don't obviously mountain bike, so I don't know what the etiquette is in it, but people would come through and there'd be multiple, not together, but they'd be like, "Hey, I got 2 more behind me. Hey, I got 1 more behind me. Hey, I'm the last one." Yeah. I'm like, "You guys are super nice." Well, I had this one guy come up and he's like, "Hello." No, that's wrong. That's British.
Throw another shrimp on the bobby.
Yeah, that's all I could think of. And he said something that I couldn't understand. To come to find out, it was one more, and his girlfriend or wife or whatever came back.
Uno mas?
No, I would have gotten that. And she came by and she's like, "I'll see you later." I'm like, "What's going on? Why is everyone so nice? You're not even from here."
You're not one of them.
But it was really nice.
By the way, that's why they're nice.
Because they're not from there. But yeah, that's the take. I don't know what's wrong with the hikers and the trail runners in Greensboro area, but they were not very friendly and nice. But every single mountain biker thanked me and said good morning. Every single one of them.
Odd.
Very weird.
That is very weird.
How was your week?
So my week, dude.
Your last week and a half, really.
Golly days. I am still on a sleep deprivation, trying to catch up. Mind you, I did basically nothing compared to the person I was out there with, and I am still. So Wednesday, we got in Wednesday morning at 4 a.m. So from Western States, I was lucky enough and honored enough to have Dave Wells invited me out to crew and pace him out in Western States.
Oh, it's because I wasn't available.
Yeah, well, that's 100%. God knows you have so much more knowledge. So I got to go out to Western States.
Dick, where's your microphone volume?
I got to go out and do that, and so that's basically my whole week. Coming in Wednesday. Saturday, I tell you what, on the note of the topic of this podcast, heat training, Western States. Folks, it was the 9th hottest Western States ever.
That is nuts. That's nuts to know that there was 8 higher than that.
Dude, honestly,
just from the pictures and everything.
That was my thought. My thought also was holy cow, there's 8 hotter than this. And by the way, this was the 9th hottest, but it also had the highest success rate ever. I believe.
I saw that. It was almost like an 80-something%.
I think it's 86% success rate.
That shows people, when you're heading out there.
You did your homework and you did heat training. I feel like it's becoming more and more of a trendy. I don't know if trendy, or at least people are catching on that, you need to plan.
To be prepared. I wonder if not to give anything away from those people that finished that crazy race, if people aren't showing up that aren't ready. Maybe they got in through the lottery or got into whatever, and then they basically don't even, it's a DNS. They didn't even start. Because that wouldn't count as far as their finisher's rate. Because if you didn't start...
I think it still does.
It shouldn't, though, because it's not a finisher. If you didn't start...
But you're still in it.
It should be a drop rate.
That's still in, though.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. I will tell you this, speaking of people not showing up and not ready, or people not quite enough experience, and we jumping into shark a little bit and getting, we're going to do what we normally do. We're going to BS and it's we're going down a side stream here. There was a dude out there, oddly enough, I think he's one of the trustees' sons or something like that, or he's somehow related. He's from that area or something like that. He got his one ticket. He got his one ticket from running 100K. So he had one ticket. So he had less than a 2% chance of ever getting in. He got in. It was his first 100.
Uh-oh.
He finished just in front of Dave.
Really?
He's a 29-hour.
A 29-hour.
So, snap.
Oh, there goes some of the beer.
On my white shirt.
Oh,
that's no fun. So I'm going to talk standing up the rest of the episode. And,
oh, that's great. Here, we're going to take a quick commercial break with no commercials so we can clean this up. This party foul. I need to take a picture first, though. But we'll come right back.
We're not going anywhere.
We're not going to come? Okay. Well, I'm going to go in and get you a towel, though.
We'll just have Caleb maybe bring it out. So this dude had one chance to get in. He finished that race. But talking about heat training and stuff like that, on the run this weekend that I did Saturday coming back, I actually managed to get a run in with a couple people. And I am telling you what, I ran Saturday morning. We started at 9. We started just a little after 9 a.m. And we ran for 2 hours. So... it was unbelievable how soaked I was. Does she know this is white and it's getting ready to get jacked up? Okay. It was unbelievable how soaked I was in just 2 hours of running. We went to dude, speaking of this is kind of...
Quick side note. Thank you, Kayla, for giving us a rag.
A white one that is now forever ruined.
It's a shop towel.
Shop towel. We went to Saturday morning, went and ran at what I consider a newer preservation park. That Shale Hollow.
Shale Hollow.
Dude, that's a great little course, actually.
Oh, yeah?
It's basically 2 trails. Like
It's like is it a figure 8 or is it 2 separate trails?
It's definitely 2 separate.
Okay.
So the one, kind of depending on where you park at, but if you park at the very bottom, you run this little, it just does a circle. And the circle is...
It's like a circle.
A circle.
It has no end.
It is right around a mile, right? And then the other little trail that they have is right around a mile also, but you go up a little path. There is a loop, and then you go up another little path, and there's another loop. So it's kind of like
a clover-ish with two,
on top, like stacked on top of each other. 2 lollipops on top of one another.
Double scooped ice cream, if you will.
There you go, with a toothpick between the scoops.
Fair enough,
if you will.
Okay.
So, anyways, we ran there, and it was just, it's just god awful hot and humid here in Ohio right now. So, anywho, all this kind of brings up our topic of heat training and all that kind of stuff, and how to go into races kind of prepared, or what you should maybe think about doing during a very hot, very humid 100-miler.
Or any race.
Or what? Yeah, any race.
A hot training run and or race.
Yes. So
I think it goes kind of like John and I. Oh yeah, it's all over that white shirt, man.
Is it? God bless.
You need another shirt?
No. Like all over it?
Like it's from like here down, splashed over.
Dang it.
Dude, you just say you just took a hard fall on the trail wearing your sweet Patagonia shirt.
My literally brand new.
Oh, it looked fresh.
Brand new white t-shirt.
Go back to REI and be like, I got it like this?
Except I got it in Nevada.
Oh, did you?
So, god dang it. Anywho,
but yeah, with John and I had talked about, like, I think it was in our training episode maybe, of like when you have races that are going to possibly be like that maybe you should, prep in that. So like kind of train how the race is going to be. John is so upset about that shirt. We've gone off the rails.
Keep talking for a minute.
What are you going to do? You're going to go wash it? So we had talked about in our training episode, I believe, of kind of the fact of you want to train like your race is going to be. So if you know your race is going to be hot, like if you're doing like Mohican or Western States or anything like that, that it's going to be a hot race, that you really should be training in the heat. And sometimes it's tough, especially in Ohio, is where, as John said, our weather is so unpredictable that sometimes it can be, I think we had winter until Easter this year. I just want to take a picture and video of John doing that.
Recording in my shirt. Okay, so I'm back.
So while you were gone,
yes,
talked about our episode where we talked about like training in conditions similar to racing. So like knowing that your race is going to be stupid hot, like how you should prepare for that. Whether it's like, hey, maybe morning runs aren't going to work because it's actually cool in the mornings. Maybe you need to do those evening, late afternoon runs to get into there. And I think the heat can be a deterrent for like people wanting to do things, and it kind of pushes you a little harder because your heart rate's going to be there. You're going to get dehydrated faster. Yeah. There's a lot of things that go like that, I think. Well,
we know that we have listeners who are like, hey, I don't want to run this. Do you guys have any other suggestions?
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like people are more cognizant of heat training now. Like, there is resources out there now.
Google.
I don't know anyone personally that's ran Badwater, but I know people that have gone out and crewed and paced Badwater, and even the people. Here's how hot is Badwater. Badwater is so hot that even the crew and the pacers do heat training.
Yeah, because you need to.
For it.
I've always heard the stories of people frying eggs on the road.
Yes,
and like you having to having to run on the white line.
Yeah.
So you don't melt the rubber off your shoes.
So I know that people who have gone out and done Badwater specific, or paced and crewed at Badwater specifically, have gone to as far as in Ohio, done kind of midday runs with sweatsuits on.
Gosh, that sounds miserable.
But you got to do that. And then, now all this goes with saying, be smart about it. Like if you're going to maybe chill if you're going to pass out, start getting lightheaded. But they're doing this training and they have like full sweatsuits on and just chugging water left and right while they do it. Because part of the heat training that you need to do is to not only learn how to tolerate and get your body to where it can kind of adapt to the heat, but also get your body to where it can process the water while it's under duress from the heat and like that.
Right. You need your body to kind of overperform in every way of the form. It needs to be able to produce a sweat because sweat's what basically cools our body. And when you stop sweating, that's a real good sign of dehydration or lack of electrolytes.
That's a bad sign.
Yeah.
You stop sweating.
Yeah. I don't know how many runs I've been on and I'm like, that's weird.
I feel clammy.
I feel like very sticky and I'm not sweating anymore.
I know a couple people who have done races recently, and one of the training that they added to their regiment was sauna training. And they actually picked that up from a guy who did Badwater also. He created, I don't know if he created it per se, but he kind of has his own little technique that he uses. And it's funny that it doesn't sound like it's that bad. It is, it starts off kind of sort of relatively easy. You are sitting in a sauna for like 15 minutes. But the key is you do it every day, 15 minutes, and then it increases from 15 minutes to like 20 or 25, then to 30, then to 40, and you get all the way up to 60 minutes. And you do it in you do it in 30-day increments, I think. But they are saying that while you're sitting in the sauna for however long you're supposed to be sitting in it at the time, you're supposed to be just drinking as much water as you can get through your system also. Right. And I don't know. I mean, I guess the one person I know for a fact that did that for Mohican, they had pretty good success up there. It's just, I mean, it's one of those things where if you choose to do it, I'm sure it probably can't hurt.
You're right.
But you're looking at another hour every day.
It's a big commitment.
It's a time consumer for
Sally
sure.
McRae, the one I was telling you about that was out at crewing somebody at Western, she's doing Badwater for the first time. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of her regimen. It's funny you take the sauna. Like I found an article on ultra running too talking about that, but like every other day she's in the sauna. And again, it's up to this article from ultra running talked about, basically starting in a 160, 180 degree dry sauna and starting at 15, 20 minutes and then adding a few minutes every session, ideally every other day. But at least even every other day, that's a lot of time that you're going to spend. And again, because, John and I do lift a little bit, so we have gym memberships, but the gyms we go to, does the Y have a sauna?
Oh, yeah. Y has like some really nice saunas, too.
My $10 a month Planet Fitness doesn't have a sauna.
Imagine that.
Yeah. I wonder if the Worthington one, does the Worthington over there have it? I thought about transferring over there.
The Planet Fitness?
Isn't that where the wells go? No, not the Planet Fitness, the Worthington Rec Center.
Oh. I don't know.
I wonder if they do. Because, saunas would be a nice thing just to add. Because, again, like you said, it doesn't hurt. And it won't necessarily... It could hamper you if you do it wrong and you're stupid. Yeah.
Well, I've heard of people going into a sauna and doing I am interested in trying just the sitting in the sauna and chugging water aspect of it. But I've also heard of people putting bikes in the sauna and doing flutter kicks and sit-ups and jumping jacks and push-ups and I feel like that is potentially dangerous and maybe some overkill.
Yeah, and maybe don't just wear just a towel if you're going to do jumping jacks. Male or female.
Get a concussion. So it just seems like one of those weird things where the more and more people are doing it, but clearly people are catching on to the fact that you need it. Western states, give them credit, and I feel like we have a race right here in Ohio that could take some pointers from this. Western states, I believe they put out at their pre-race meeting per runner, they had 65 pounds of ice.
Wow. That's a lot of ice.
That is insane. And then I saw a thing on Twitter where they tweeted out that their ice bill was, I can't remember either number is astronomical. Their ice bill was somewhere between $8,000 and $9,000.
That is crazy.
Just the ice bill.
That is nuts.
I will also go as far as to say at Western States. First off, Western States, if you've never been there, it was my
They've
first
got their shit figured out.
It was my first time ever being at the Western States. The weird thing for what I found weird was out there was like when your runner came into the aid station, you were not allowed to. Essentially, you couldn't handle your runner at all at the aid station until they got through the aid station. Like you could not go to the aid station table and get your runner something.
Really?
Like the aid station volunteers had that all worked out. It
makes sense.
And they did, dude. They had that thing was a well-oiled machine. Your runner would come into the aid station, and by the time they were out of the aid station, they were like it was like watching a pit crew at a NASCAR race. I mean, they were fully like, yeah, it was nuts. There was not a single aid station that I saw a single runner go into that did not come out with a cup of ice and ice crammed in a bandana around the neck, or the other really common one was a lot of people are starting to wear those arm sleeves.
Yeah.
And just those things, runners would come out and they look like they were bodybuilders.
Yeah.
I mean, it was they were just crammed with
I was
ice.
reading some stuff about that, and it seems like that'd be counterintuitive to have that covered, but it's like, no, it gives you something to keep your body even cooler.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes with the heat training itself. I was going to bring that topic up of how important ice is.
Yeah.
Of kind of letting your body's already working overtime.
Yeah.
So rather than making it work even harder, maybe help it out and keep it cool. So like I've gotten really used to the Dr. Mike called it an ice burrito on the back of the neck and a bandana, and then in the hat as well. Like those have been my two places. But like some of the reading and stuff I've done, it makes me want to like try the sleeves and see how well that would work.
There was a crazy number of people that had that.
I mean, and obviously those people know what the hell they're doing.
And they seem to have it down pretty well.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like my whole thing against like the ice bandana things is, great example. Saturday when we ran, super hot, super humid, right? And when it's that humid, I chafe, right? I chafe really bad. And so I was kind of worried, like, man, if I chafe just off the humidity, what's it going to be like if I have the humidity plus I have all that melted ice?
Yeah.
Well, out of places like Western States where it's so arid, like you would see runners come in and like they would be only a little wet right immediately under where the bandana had melted.
Oh,
everything
really?
else, it was so hot and so dry out there that everything else just immediately dried off from them.
Huh.
It was bizarre. Dave had made the comment a couple times that like his sleeves on his shirt were like dry every single time. As a matter of fact, he had like little salts like starting to form on it. That it was that dry out there. So
I mean,
that's the other part. You know, you want to kind of monitor how fast everything melts and like make sure you're not getting chafing and stuff like that. But
it's going with the climate, knowing where like if you're doing a race out here, it's going to be humid and disgusting.
Yeah.
Like keep that. Yeah, I never
keep it
thought.
dry. Keep it dry as much as possible. Like change like so on a really hot days, humid days. If you're going to do the ice things, you're going to need to change your shirt.
Yeah.
A lot more often than you are if you didn't do it out where it's dry and stuff like that, but hot.
Yeah.
The other thing that I know that was incorporated out there in Western States to a stupid amount, and it was funny because I've seen people here in Ohio doing it, and I've always thought, man, that might be kind of goofy. But now I see it, and I fully understand a little bit better, and I'm like, nope, I'm an idiot for not thinking that was a good idea, is the handkerchief basically like sewn into the back of the hat or like pinned or something like that, covering the back of the neck and even as far as like to the ears and stuff like that. We makeshift one for Dave out there in Western States, and he's like, dude, he's like, it is unbelievable how much a difference that made. Like he's like, it is crazy how much of a difference that made keeping that heat off from. And I guess when I first saw it, I'm like, how does that not get hot underneath? Like, because you're trapping that heat underneath. But it's the lesser of the evils of the sun beating on the back of your neck and just cooking the back of your head.
Rather than just that steaming heat that you have.
So he said that he's like, that was a freaking lifesaver out there having that on the back of his head.
I think I saw a documentary with someone at Badwater that had like a full off white jumpsuit that had like the long trail head and then like long sleeves and long pants. And people were looking at him like, what are you doing, bro? And he's like, no, this is scientifically proven that this is going to keep me cooler than the sun hitting your skin. Because at that point, your body has no chance of basically adjusting to it. You got to help your body as much as you can in the heat. So ice is a good thing. Again, just pay attention to, like John said, with chafing, and you don't want to be completely drenched because of ice. You know, you also want to make sure that you are sweating too. Like the ice can't completely substitute that, because if you're not sweating, that's a problem. And that really comes to hydration and electrolytes. People don't realize how important electrolytes are. Oh. And just because I think every time I think of electrolytes, I think of the what's the movie with Owen? What's the Owen brother?
I have no clue.
Idiocracy.
I've heard of it. I don't know if I've ever seen it.
So the whole premise is he like is supposed to be cryogenically frozen for like 5 years or some shit like that, and it ends up being like hundreds of years. And what they do is they basically have this electrolyte drink. I can't remember what it's called, but they're feeding everything electrolytes because I think that's how things grow. And they're wondering why none of their crops are growing because they're feeding it like a Gatorade kind of thing. Yeah. Terry Crews is the president. It's hilarious movie. It's basically what our country is going to be in about 5 years.
Easy.
4 years. But it's so funny because I talk about feeding everything electrolyte. But electrolytes are very important, and a lot of people think like you just drink Gatorade or something like that, and it's like Gatorade has too much sugar. Yeah, and then you're kind of combating your hydration because the sugar is overtaking it.
I tell you, so, by the way, on this episode, we're going to be Dave Wells heavy, just because.
Oh, because that's fresh.
Just because that's fresh, and that's who I just spent like the last week with. That dude, I don't know if I've ever been around or ran with anybody that is more dialed in to like monitoring his urine and his hydration levels. It is insane. Well, like you run with him.
It's in his job.
Yeah. You run with him, and he's like, oh, yep, nope, I need to, this time at this aid station, guys, let's just go all water. I've noticed I haven't peed quite enough. I believe I'm retaining too many electrolytes. And then, like, the next aid station, you see him, and it'll be X amount of miles away. He's like, okay, we've got some pee. A little concerned about the color. We're gonna go with 2 bottles and 1 bag of this. And you're like, Judas
1 bag
Priest.
of Dave's Wind.
Dave Wind, yes.
Dave Wind.
Homie makes his own tailwind, which is absolutely genius. Yeah, oddly enough, you know, the one ingredient he takes out the tailwind does not. And it's the sugar.
Really?
Yep. He makes his own concoction, and it's more of a, like a potassium, salts, electrolytes,
stuff. Meth.
Yeah, what's the word of meth? But no, he basically makes tailwind minus the sugar.
Interesting.
But he makes his own.
I told Kayla, I was like, I need to talk to Dave just to be like, how much does this stuff cost? How much would you be willing to make it for me to try it out?
Yeah, it's pretty neat how he makes, but it's funny because like he does have his own little baggies. Like he just has like a shit ton of baggies. So he's like, all right, man, dump this in here and this. But it's crazy how dialed in. But he comes through those aid stations. I mean, he relatively looks unscathed at most of them. I mean,
at a certain point, it's 100-something degrees.
And you're going to look a little fucked up. Yeah. But on the grand scheme of things, like it's crazy how well he has it dialed in. But it is funny how much people are like, oh, Gatorade for the. You can overdose on the electrolytes. You can overdose on the water.
Well, they had a great marketing scheme of that with like the sweat, the colored sweat, saying like what's in your sweat, like the like you need the electrolytes. And you're like, yeah, but what else is in here? Yeah. Like you have to be smart about this. So like I recently started using the salt tabs a little heavier than I had been in heat training, and I've been okay with them because I don't have the ones with caffeine. Yeah. I think the ones with caffeine throw you for a loop.
Yeah, yeah. I would say
personally.
Yeah, I would say the 2 biggest in races in recent history that I can remember, I would say easily the issues I've had where I've ran into like serious like, this is about to go sideways. Yeah. When I look back on it, hindsight 2020, it was both because I was using something that had too much caffeine in it, whether it be the tailwind with caffeine or it being like cliff shots with caffeine. Yeah. I was going too heavy. And I feel like any adult in their right mind understands that caffeine dehydrates you.
Yeah.
So
I mean, caffeine definitely has its benefits, but you can definitely over caffeinate yourself very quickly.
I feel like caffeine is one of those things that you should hold off until 3, 4 in the morning when it's
when someone's putting in your ramen noodle and laughing
it's
while
like
you're trying to eat
sneaking
it.
ramen noodle in. I feel like it's great for the last quarter of a race or something like that when you're trying to just basically bump someone over the finish line.
Yeah.
And you got that person essentially running on fumes.
Right.
And you start bumping caffeine in there, and I mean, there's not a whole lot left to be lost at that point anyways.
Yeah, salt tabs are nice. It's keeping those electrolytes in check, and we've talked about it in other episodes of the color of pee and stuff like that. That's a decent gauge on your hydration, but you don't want it clear. Because then you can risk the route of, which is a very, very serious thing that a lot of ultra runners do have. Is it hypo
is... Yeah, I can never remember the hypo, hyper, and hypa.
Yeah, someone's going to make fun of us like they usually do on this.
Librarians.
Let's see where it's at. I had it in my article. Hyponatremia.
Oh, yes, ever famous natremia.
Yeah, that's it. It's defined as an abnormally low concentration of sodium ions in the blood. So basically, when you overhydrate yourself and you're not getting enough electrolytes in, so you're not getting that balance, and they said one of the easiest signs to see that is weight gain, instant bloating, weight gain during the race, because you're supposed to lose on average 4 to 5% on most ultra marathons is your weight you would end up dropping, which is fine. But if you overhydrate, you can cause more issues where your body just wants to start shutting down. So you don't want your pee to be crystal clear.
Right.
You also don't want it to look like coffee.
Yeah. I think I've always used
amber.
I've always used my fingers as a gauge.
Why are you putting your
sticking your fingers in there? No, but if your fingers start getting pudgy and swollen and stuff like that, it's probably a pretty good idea. You need to step back and reevaluate how much electrolytes and how much water and what a ratio you've been taking stuff in.
I do it with my watch on my wrist. Basically, I keep it where it's comfortably tight, but then when it starts to bother me, because I don't wear my ring while I run because I've had issues where it wasn't going to come off. I'm like, that's good. We're going to have to cut this finger.
Yeah, I actually use my wedding ring is what I use because I love my wife and I wear it all the time.
Moving on.
As your lovely wife is in there cleaning my shirt for me.
Yeah, she's cleaning your shirt. Well, that was definitely thunder.
Was that thunder?
I mean...
No, it's not supposed to rain here for a while. Although those clouds look kind of ominous.
Well,
wherever has heat thunder or heat lightning or whatever they call it.
There's heat lightning. There's usually not heat thunder,
But if there's lightning, isn't there thunder?
Not necessarily.
What?
Because you see it long before you hear it.
Right, but it's still there.
Not unless it's too far away. In theory, so if a bear shits in the woods and there's no one there,
it definitely wipes his ass.
But yeah, so what else with heat training? I mean, be smart with your hydration, the electrolytes. Again, do what works for you. Just because everyone says salt tabs are what you need, salt tabs are what you need. If you do salt tabs and it absolutely murders you, like a Baxendale.
Oh my God, that year, forget the PR.
Yeah, and just it just did not work. So now he's like, I don't do it.
Yeah.
Dr. Mike before Nashville, that was a really stupid hot race 2 years ago, I think, that Baxendale did. He said, hey, try to get as much sodium as you can before. So I had like 2 things of ramen the night before the race, just trying to overload my body with sodium to kind of try to get ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Whether that worked or not, it was hard to say because there's a bunch of other factors that contributed to me having a really crappy race. I don't know. Heat training is one of those things where it can be great as long as you do it right. You're smart about it. If you start getting lightheaded or dizzy or anything like that, stop.
Yeah, I've also, and I remember this from years and years ago. If you have ever been a heat casualty, if you've ever had heat stroke, heat exhaustion, if you've ever been a heat casualty, it is probably best that you just avoid hot situations because once you become a heat casualty, the odds and the probability of you becoming a heat casualty again are significantally higher.
And let's just say this preface here, we should preface this beforehand. We are not medical professionals, and this is not any advice you should follow.
I did sleep at a Holiday Inn. That's such a corny-ass joke.
It's a Holiday Inn Express.
Yes. So, yeah, corny. So corny.
Sorry.
So stupid. But I think next year I have my eye on a race that is kind of notorious for being hot and humid. And I think about a month out, maybe 2 months out, I'll be looking into the sauna training.
Yeah, it seems to have decent results from what I mean, because a lot of the elites are doing it, but again, I mean, they're also running 100+ mile weeks every single week too. Yeah, that's definitely a storm brewing this way.
But it's not supposed to storm until like later this week.
It could just because it's so dang hot.
So dang
hot. That's how we're talking now. We have sensors.
Someone spent too much time in North Kakalaki.
Dude, when we were sitting there with my sister-in-law's family came in for the birthday party.
Yeah.
And like just all the talking, I could feel my voice starting to go back into that from when I lived there. I'm like, don't you do it, man. Like, y'all listen up now. You hear?
Y'all, look at her. Huh?
It's the back.
What's the back? So that looks great. Look at you.
Oh, honey.
God.
But it's still a little wet, so I'm going to put it back.
That's all right. Thank you.
You want to wear it wet?
No, put it back in the dryer. Just let it so it doesn't.
I just wanted to make sure that.
Yeah, it looks like you definitely got it off.
It's okay.
You are a solid wife too.
Yep. And not as well. He's talking about TWO.
Yes. Like second wife. Like we're moving to Utah, folks.
Wait a second, then I can't have her too. That's not how it works.
Oh, wait. Yeah, you're right. What is that? That would be weird. Speaking of
What, would that not be weird?
the other part's totally not weird, but that part would be weird. Yeah.
All right. Anything else with heat training?
I feel like there's so much more to get into with heat training, and I
think it's very specific though.
it is very much a person-to-person thing.
Yeah, like there's certain things.
I know.
I'm a absolute baby when it comes to heat. Like once I start getting hot, I'm like, I don't want to run. And I start slowing down and make it. Yeah,
it's real.
It's a real thing. Well, that was also like that was a lot of everything. But usually what happens with heat, as funny as we say this is a storm's about to roll through, is usually with heat you get storms like this, and then it's hot again.
Oh. I learned an interesting fact.
I'm listening.
Speaking of this is super cool. So this is what happens when you run with people way smarter than you. You learn really cool shit like this. So, did you know that when you're running, and it's like what it is now, that your performance is greatly increased, like significantly increased, right after it begins to rain? There's like a change in the ions in the air, and your performance will greatly increase.
Really?
Yes. Right after.
Right as it starts.
Immediately after it starts raining, your performance increases, and then it will plateau back out, back to kind of like what it was. And unfortunately, because I'm an idiot, that's the extent of the information I retained from the guy who told me this. But I was like, fucking like, he was telling me this because we were running and it was beginning to drizzle on us. And he's like, and he hit me with this knowledge. I'm like, and then of course, the other person we were running with, oddly enough, that day, this is not out of the normal. I was easily the dumbest one of this running group, but like the other 3 people with us are like all significantly more intelligent, and they were more like able to follow the conversation. Right, but it was. They were following the science behind it. You're just like dumbfounded, and I'm just nodded. I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. Yeah, can it start raining every single time?
Yeah, and he's like, technically, you kind of wanted to. Just kind of rain, right? And he said that science even hasn't figured out to like where in different races at different points, obviously because different distances. But there's like a certain point for every like distance that you kind of want it to rain.
Really?
It was crazy.
I might have to research that. Yeah, we got a little drizzle coming right now.
So going back to
heavier drizzle.
It's kind of funny because we kind of missed it because a certain person spilled beer, but I heard you talking about it when I was in a full-blown panic about getting my new shirt dirty. I heard you mention like running like when it at uncomfortable hours during the day.
Yeah.
2 years ago during the Redemption Tour, I was purposely running at anywhere from 10 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was purposely going out and doing 10-mile to 14-mile runs just to try to get that extra bit of suck involved in my runs and like that. And I kind of, oddly enough, feel like it did make a difference. I really do feel like if you know a race is going to have certain elements, you do need to just kind of embrace it and get after it. We always kind of make the comments that when you and I stop to use the restroom during runs or something like that, or it falls under the same, the race director is not going to stop the clock for you to poop. The race director is not going to stop the clock when it's hot. The race director is not going to stop the clock when it's raining, all that kind of stuff. So if there's a high suck factor, just kind of embrace it.
Yeah,
make
embrace
it a game
the suck and just
and get after it.
But again, there is a point where it becomes
be smart.
Be smart about it. Because
speaking of being smart, there's a crack of lightning.
That was crack of lightning. We're just out here with electronic devices. What's the worst that could happen? Hold on to something rubber.
It smells really good.
Yeah, it does. Like this stuff's getting a little wet.
I felt just a little bit of a breeze coming in on me. Or not breeze, a little bit of a drizzle. What was I getting ready? I was getting ready to say something also. I am obviously distracted by the rain.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
That's all right.
We should probably just go ahead and wrap it up. This will be a shorter episode just because we're getting rained on, folks.
Is it? Yeah, it'll be a little shorter. Yeah, it's starting to come down, and we just have equipment to get done. So yeah, that's a brief bit on heat train. I mean, like John said, there's a lot as the rain slows down now. There's a lot with heat training that really is specific to you. So kind of paying attention to, I hope that got picked up in the microphone.
I kind of do hope that.
Because if it didn't, that'd be funny. But yeah, there's a lot specific to heat training for your individual. So I mean, do some searches online. I mean, there's a lot of great information out there, but do it smart for you, and then just do it in stages. You don't want to go out and do like a 20-mile run in the dead heat and not be prepared for it.
I would pray that, yes. Let's just assume, yes, that, work yourselves into stuff.
So some local things happening this upcoming weekend. So this is 4th of July week. Tomorrow, this release on Tuesday. Tomorrow will be 4th of July. That this Saturday is the 5th, 6th, 7th? The 7th? I think it's the 7th. The Hilltop 5K.
Hilltop USA!
Yeah, the Hilltop 5K.
No, Hilltop USA 5K.
That's what I said, didn't I?
You said Hilltop 5K.
Oh. So Hilltop USA 5K.
Yeah.
It's for veterans. I don't know exactly what the organization they're supporting is, but there's a bunch of possible going out there. Unfortunately, it's sold out. But definitely come out there and just support kind of the veterans and
or me, maybe bandit.
Yeah, well,
bandit race it.
John's just going to bandit it.
There may be one idiot that bandits it.
Yeah, whatever.
Maybe
they can deal with it. And then
I just stood way too fast.
Do what? You stood way too. Oh,
shadows. My tongue feels like a penny's on it.
Ooh. And then there's one important local event that's actually coming up here soon.
Oh, shit, folks. Get excited.
We are doing the Running Beer and BS 50K tour.
Oh, snap.
On July 14th, there is going to be a 50K route, which we will have an event on Facebook.
Wait, July 14th?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on the 14th. It's Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Saturday, right?
Not this Saturday, next Saturday.
Not this upcoming Saturday, the following Saturday.
Yes.
There's going to be a 50K that is going to be taking place throughout Columbus. Yeah, that's getting real chilly. There's a 50K around Columbus, so we're going to post the route for it and share that with you guys on Facebook. So it'll be in a Facebook event. It's going to be in a Facebook event. Oh, my goodness.
All right, we need to talk fast.
Yeah. So it'll be a Facebook event with all of the details. We're going to hit up 8 breweries around Columbus, run a 50K, finish at Zaftig Brewing Company. It's going to be amazing. You'll check out everything there. We are getting rained on, so if you do like the podcast, consider subscribing to it. If you do not, there's some reviews we wanted to talk about. We'll just shout those out next week.
Just a quick shout to the... No, let's do it right now.
What are their names?
Let's get into this.
What are their names?
I don't know. My phone done some wonky stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. It's chilling out for us, so we got a second.
It's chilling for a second. So we have a review on iTunes that said... Let me pull up the picture here. It said, 2 relatable dudes drinking beer and talking running. What's not to like? Informational and entertaining all at the same time. And that was from Vogues55. And then also to Jay Sargent. It's our UK listener I talked about last week. Hey guys, brand spanking new listener here in the UK. Stayed up past my bedtime last night listening to you chat shit about what not to do, episode 20. I will listen to the others, I promise. I'm running my first 50K in July, and your tips and advice about what not to do are in my head. Great advice. You almost sound like you know what you're talking about.
Almost.
Almost. Seriously, though, top advice. The podcasts are fucking awesome. We thank you so much, Jay. We will get your address, and I will ship you a sticker to the UK. I don't care how much it costs us.
That'd be awesome.
That's happening.
The
So
shipping will cost more than the sticker.
it definitely will. But yeah,
And it'll
so
be worth it.
sorry for the quick. The rain's cutting down now, so
And it's done.
Yeah, I'll jump back
Lightning's
into.
not.
Yeah, the lightning's still going on. But so back to the 50K real quick. We're gonna have a Facebook event for it. Share it with your friends. We want to have a huge group out there supporting us and really just having a good time running with us. We're gonna be running, like I said, a 50K around Columbus, multiple breweries.
And by supporting us, what we really mean is you running with us.
Yes, not financially or buying us beer or anything like that. Literally just hanging out with us.
Yeah. Well, here's the goal. It's a 50K.
Yeah.
If you want to run all 50K, fucking kudos. Awesome. We'll love to have you along with us for the full 50K.
If you want to run 8 miles, 5 miles.
If you see, oh, look, that route's eerily close to where my house is, I'm going to jump in there and run to there. Our goal is to be able to give like kind of time standards of when we expect to be at different places and be updating as we go, so you kind of know. So you can jump in with us. You can run as much as the 50K as you want. You can run as little as the 50K as you want. And even, fuck it, if you just want to show up at one of the bars and drink with us, you can just show up at one of the bars and drink with us.
Exactly. So there'll be a Facebook event. We'll share that out. You guys will get, it'll be live before this episode comes out. So make sure you share with your friends. As always, thank you so much for all of your support. We really, really appreciate it. John, you got anything else for him?
I got nothing. We're getting right now. Peace.
Peace, bye.